exponential smoothing, for the exponential smoothing we need something called alpha, and that is smoothing constant. And then basically in order to calculate a time period we use the following formula: alpha times at minus 1 plus 1 minus alpha time ft minus 1. So basically in earlier when we used the weighted moving average and moving average, we needed really a couple of time periods to get a forecast. In this time we just need the demand for the previous period and what was our initial forecast for that time period. So it is very easy to implement on a computer and run it because it doesn't require a lot of data. Now alpha needs to be between 0 and 1, and then we can basically do the calculation. Now when we go through these iterations we always need an initial forecast to start. So in earlier when we did the moving average and weighted moving average, we calculated the forecast from F4, starting on F4, and I'm going to be just consistent for that purpose. I'm going to define for something for F3. Now this F3 can be be any number. Basically you can just eyeball the earlier number and choose one of them. I usually like taking the average of earlier time periods. For example, in our case I could use A1 plus A2 plus A3 divided by 3 as my initial forecast, or some people choose the last time period actual demand as the and that is A3, right, as the forecast for that time period. The idea is that you just need to start the forecast, and although in class we are using small number of data points, in a real business they might have a couple of years of data, so the initial number forecast you start with really does not impact the future forecast significantly, right? So again, I'm just going to use this one, and in the exam assignments and everywhere you will see me defining what is going to be the initial forecast, but as I said, you can choose anything you want. So F4 is going to be alpha times A3 plus 1 minus alpha times F3, right? So I need an alpha value, and for this exercise again I'm gonna just make up one, let's say 0.3. Once I have 0.3 as an alpha value, then I can basically go ahead and do this calculation. F4 is 0.3 times the actual demand in A3 in the third period was 50, and if you guys remember the earlier calculation, we had already calculated the average of 3 numbers and that was 40, so I'm gonna just use that one as the forecast. Okay. So my F4 is equal to basically 43, and F5, this time it's alpha A4 plus 1 minus alpha F4. If I do that calculation, it's 0.3, F4 was 40 plus 1 minus 0.3 multiplied by F4. Guess what, where that number is? It is here, it is 43, right? And then the result is, if I round it, I guess 42.1, right? And then F6 is 0.3 times A5 is 60 plus 1 minus 0.3 times 42.1, that is 47.5, right? And F7 is gonna be basically if I do entire calculation, 48.3, and F8 is going to be 54.8.